Good evening. Hello, what is happening, guys? Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you are well this Saturday night. I see some people on Twitch catching in as well. I'm going to be just doing some chilled painting tonight, which should be fun. It feels like it's been too long since I live streamed some painting. Obviously, I was at that tournament last weekend, so I couldn't do anything last week. But I had a pretty great tournament. I'm planning on getting a video about that out this week, probably. So tonight, maybe just a little bit of chilled painting is the plan. I'm painting incursors. I don't actually have a complete squad of incursors. So these will be my first complete squad of incursors. Good evening from Vegas. Good evening from Scotland. Good evening, Highland Phoenix. How you doing? I just need to move my camera a tiny bit, I think, this way. Should be it. That looks pretty good. Alright, cool. If the music's too loud, please someone give me a shout in the chat and tell me it's too loud. What do I need to black paint? One second. I don't know how I've lost my black paint. I used it earlier today. Here we go. Alright. Incursors and one company veteran is what I have on this painting table tonight. And I've been using this brush for a while. It's starting to get a bit knackered. Shout out to Element Games, who do really good brushes. But I think this is where we'll start tonight. And yeah, do you know what? We'll just start with some Shatty Bone. Music is a little high, thank you. We'll turn it down a bit, it's no problem. Maybe something like that in the music. Good evening, CJ. How you doing? Is anyone else doing any hobbying tonight? I had so much fun last week at that tournament, by the way, Highland. Hey Adam, thanks so much for the follow, appreciate it. Yeah, I had so much fun at that tournament last week. And the fact that every game was played on the clock, you know that, I actually really liked it. Like, you had to be so quick. In my second game where I just beat the Dark Elder, basically in turn 5, like right at the end, I had 35 seconds left. And I was trying to decide, like, because he had 2 raiders left, and I sort of knew that I could kill one of them for sure. I was trying to decide if I go aggressive. Like, I didn't realize I'd won the game at that point because it was only a 5-point game. But I thought, like, can I kill both raiders? And my chapter master needed to make a charge. You know what? I went for the safe option and just thought, like, we'll just make sure that we kill the one raider and what's inside it. And we did that, and yeah, we won the game anyway. But it's kind of intense when it's like, because Colin was there. And Colin's like, 35 seconds, pick a target. And I was like, I'm thinking, Colin, shut up. And he's like, you've got 35 seconds, just charge one of them. And I was like, Like, you know, when you've got 35 seconds left and you know you have 35 seconds left, you don't need someone in your ear telling you, hey, you've got 30 seconds left, you know? But like, I felt like I played pretty quickly. It was tough. It was a good event, but also a tough event. And I was like, my very first game of the tournament was against Innes, and Innes's team won the tournament, and Innes is the captain of Team Scotland. And like, I don't know if he underestimated me or what, but yeah, I got a really good, like, we beat Team Scotland because Andrew beat the White Scar. So Andrew played against White Scars and won by 5 points. I think Colin played against Dukari and lost by about 20 points. But I played the Thousand Suns and won by like 24. So yeah, we actually beat first place. We beat Team Scotland, which was pretty cool. But it was mainly down to I don't know if people really knew how to fight my Blood Angels list. You know, my Blood Angels list is quite a bit different to what some people run, you know, all jump packs and stuff. So it was pretty cool. I'm excited for my next tournament, and this is why I'm. I said to my wife the other day, I was like, I am so burnt out on painting, because normally I don't do any Warhammer on Friday and Sunday nights. Like, good evening, Robert. How you doing? Good evening, The End. What's up? I usually take Friday and Sunday nights off, right? Like, so on Monday night I play a Battle of Warhammer. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, I usually work on like my video that I put out every Friday. So I usually take Friday night off, and then obviously stream on Saturday, stream on Sunday afternoon. Bear in mind, I also paint every Saturday and Sunday morning as well for like 2 hours before my baby gets up. Or I would say my family, I guess, because my wife's sleeping as well. And I normally take Friday and Sundays off, but for like the last month, I have painted every Friday and Sunday night, maybe even the last 2 months, you know, just so that like all my stuff was super ready for this tournament. And another tournament in 8 weeks, I feel like I'm just going to be painting Friday nights and Sunday nights as well for the next like 2 months. So after that, I'm take a break. I suppose Team Scotland earned their place though since they won. Yeah, I mean, Team Scotland are a very good team, regardless of the fact that we beat them. Like, it was very close, and I think maybe, I just think that the Thousand Sun player didn't know what to expect from me, because he put a lot of his mortal wounds in at one of my dreadnoughts, obviously, right? And the second he like started to hit, well, I think the second he cast, I think he had just like 2 or 3 psychers that were going to be able to smite the dreadnought, because the dreadnought was closest. So the second he did the smite, in that list I didn't have Soul Warden, right? So like I just instantly played Armor of Contempt, like right after the first smite went off, and then I knew that there was going to be like 3 or 4 more smites going into the same dreadnought. So Armor of Contempt giving me the 5-up shrug was, you know, it was pretty valuable actually. It kept the dreadnought alive enough where I could just use my Tech Marine flat, bang 3 wounds back on it, and then fire on full profile, basically. Good evening, Adam. How you doing? Good evening, Toxic. I hope you are well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's nice to see you. It feels like it's been too long since I've streamed, honestly. I've just been so busy. I finally sold my house, so I am moving next... I'm moving the end of next month, so I guess I'm just going to be quite busy for another month, but hopefully after that, once I've got all moved and stuff, maybe we'll get back to like being able to stream like a couple of times a week. I'd like that. So yeah, my house was on the market for literally almost a year, because we put the house on the market in November, and we're moving out on like the 18th of October. So yeah, I mean, basically like 2 weeks shy of a year, how long it took to sell the house, which is crazy, because some houses, because of the pandemic, like some areas or some houses have been moving really fast, but for whatever reasons, ours just took ages to sell. Hey Chris, good evening. I am good, thanks for asking. Yeah, how is everybody in the chat? Is anyone working on any Warhammer tonight, I guess, except from me? And if you have any questions about any of the lists that I'm going to make an in-depth video. I took pictures of all the tables, so I'm going to make a pretty in-depth video this week on my tournament games. But I also think I learned like a whole lot, and I don't know if any of you guys watched the game on Monday night against John, but like, I kind of feel like John didn't have a chance. After playing 5 games in like 2 days on like that 1 hour clock timer, I just felt like everything was clicking for me on Monday. I really felt like I was getting into a groove with my army now. And I've got that interview with Jack Harper coming up, and Jack obviously loves the full melee list, but like, I am quite happy with where my list is. The full melee list is definitely an option, with the Wrath of Baal and all that, but like, I'm super happy with where my list is at the moment, so I'm going to stick with it and maybe make a little refinement or two. Yeah, I'm well. Yeah, everybody's well. My wife is 24 weeks pregnant, so yeah, she's not at the top of her game, but we're doing well considering, you know, like, Good evening, Mike. How you doing? Good evening, Martin. Nice to see you guys. We've got a real bunch of people filtering in tonight. I hope you're all good. As I was saying before, it's been too long since we've been on here in the live stream. Gonna try and get back to it a little bit. I've got another really busy month coming up, but after that we will definitely be trying. And also I've got this, excuse me, I've got the solo tournament coming up as well, which will be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the solo tournament actually, because yeah, I'm feeling confident. Except for Andrew's made some stupid orc buggy lists, and orc buggies at the moment I think are super broken. The Rucka trucks, like they are just broken as all hell. I don't know who balanced them, but they are ridiculous at the moment. He's going to take it to London Grand Tournament I think next week, so we'll see how he does. I posted it in members only if any of you guys want to look at it, but those Rucka trucks are just ridiculous. Hey Oscar, working on Vanguard Vets right now. Nice. I feel like I need to do more Vanguard Vets. I've got 16 finished, but I kind of want to make sure I've got the whole 20 finished. I'm finishing my Rubik Marines tomorrow. I also need to finish a Mutalith Vortex Beast. You know what, because I'm moving, I actually packed a Mutalith Vortex Beast into a box today for moving. I've had the model for like I've had the model since before I started the Blood Angels Commander channel. That's honestly how, that's kind of why I decided to just do the Blood Angels Commander channel and focus on just Blood Angels, because like I just had such a huge backlog of other armies and stuff, and it was like I just had to make a decision, and was like, my decision is to just focus 100% on Blood Angels for the time being, because I got too much stuff. Painting a librarian with a jump pack after watching the video. The librarian with a jump pack is a boss, man. You'll like him. Used right, you can get a lot of value out of that librarian with the jump pack. Rucka truck. Yeah, am I saying it wrong? I thought it was called a Rucka truck. I put it in the members only room in Discord. But like it gets 2d6 strength 5 minus 2 shots, and it's like a 90 point model, and they are all in direct fire, and Andrew's bringing 9 of them. I thought they, you know, in a previous edition they kind of tried to move away from like all, like, you know, in Thunderfire, like everybody used to run 3 Thunderfire cannons and stuff. They tried to like nerf how much damage indirect fire did. Well, these Rucka trucks, they seem like they've completely forgotten that they had to nerf that before, because they are ridiculous. So basically, like in his army, he's getting like, what is it? It's 2d6 per, so he's got 18d6 shots. 18d6 shots a turn. Strength 5 minus 2, 2 damage. Oh, and he can make them minus 3 as well if he calls a wag. Adam says, I won my first game thanks to your videos. That's awesome, Adam. Well done. Congratulations. I'm so glad the video has helped. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of me making them, to help people out, right? So thank you for letting me know that you won your first game. That's awesome. If no one was winning games, there'd almost be no point me making the videos, right? What is it about dropping Vanguard veterans for Terminators? I have a very good reason for that, Highland Phoenix. What broken stuff is that? How about a Blood truck for it? Yeah, I don't know, Martin. The new Orc Codex is kind of... Every new codex that's coming out has like ridiculous power creep in it, and the new Orc Codex is no exception. You know, like he's got planes or something that when they charge on a roll of a 4+, they just do D3 mortal wounds, which is basically like they almost have like a free hammer of wrath when they charge. So potentially, whenever the squad of planes charge, they do 9 mortal wounds. He's got 3 squads of these planes. If you hit them with less than strength 8, they're -1 damage. They're probably snake. I'm not sure if they're snake bite. I'm not sure if you only wound them on 4s, but if you do, yeah, it's kind of horrific than just new Orc Codex. Andrew played it against Colin's Death Guard, and he beat Death Guard like 97-30. Like, he just shot Colin off the board. And this is Orcs. Like, why they're so strong at shooting makes no sense. I appreciate that, Chris. No problem. But yeah, so you know, in the tournament, I actually got quite a lot of. I mean, I can see what. So it's kind of like a little bit of a spoiler for the tournament video, but it's not really. We can talk about it now. Yeah, I basically played this strategy, and it's kind of the strategy that I'd been kind of doing on the live stream, where like I wanted to basically have my army in like 2 distinct sections, I guess, right? And one section was like, I guess, like you would just call like the main bulk of my force, so like all my Sanguine Guard, my Blade Guard, my Chapter Master on a bike, the Dreadnoughts, etc., etc. And this whole force would kind of be like trying to contest the middle of the map, because I usually have Oath of Moment, right? I think I picked Oath of Moment in every battle. And I think in like 2 or 3 of my battles I scored over 90 points. So I think, let me think. I beat the Thousand Suns by 90. I don't remember my score against Harlequins actually. It would be in the community post. Let me check. One second. Against the Harlequins, I scored 95. Alright, so in 3 of the games, in 3 of my wins, I scored 95, 95, 90. So like, I definitely was scoring well on the secondaries, right? The game against Dukari was a bit of a tricky one, because there wasn't all that many good secondaries to pick, so I had to take Assassinate, which I remember I only got 10 from, and I had to take Retrieve Octarius Data, which I didn't manage to max either, because like there was just so many raiders, like 6 raiders and all these units. It was really difficult for me to like get models into the quadrants, because like the raiders were screening so much of it. And also that was a 3-point objective one, or you know, basically like I had to play Dukari where I had to hold 3 objectives, which was hard as well, because he was basically like just unloading witches and all this stuff onto my objectives every turn. So the Dukari game was a difficult one, but like I said, I wanted to run my army in 2. Good evening, Texan. How you doing? I wanted to run my army in like 2 separate parts, right? And I guess one of the parts was like a small force that was going to be on one of the flanks. And in most games, it actually ended up being on the left flank. I don't know why that happened. I guess just probably like, I guess the cover on the maps must have been a little bit more dense on the right. And I guess like I chose, basically I wanted like my Dreadnoughts to be protected, right? Because like the Dreadnoughts with the Tech Marine were, you know, they're going to be able to put out damage for the whole game. And I'm going to be able to have one on T8. So like it's going to be very difficult for the enemy to kill the Dreadnoughts, and I felt like, so like on a couple of the maps there was forests, and the way they played the forests at the tournament, you know, because sometimes different places play rules differently, I guess, slightly, or they play the terrain differently. So the way that they were playing the forests was it was just -1 to hit, right, if you were in the forest. So like my Redemptors don't have a smoke screen, so on a couple of maps I just made sure that the Redemptors were basically deployed in the forests. So the Redemptors were deployed in the forest, so they were going to be -1 to hit, and then also I was going to make one of the Redemptors toughness 8 with Mighty Heroes and give them the 5 invulnerable save. So I felt like these were all things that were going to give my Redemptors a lot of value, and I guess they really did. But yeah, so on one wing, or one flank, shout out to the champion spirit. Thanks, Resiel. Nice to see you. Good evening. We just switched a Redemptor for a Leviathan, Grab Flux Drill, MG. What's MG again? I know you can take Volkites on the Leviathan by dropping a Terminator with a Cyclone, switch to Assault Cannon or remaining model, or is it not worth losing core? I mean, with the Tech Marine, when you're putting one of your Dreadnoughts on a 2+, I guess like the core part of that isn't super big, right? Because you're already hitting on a 2+. I guess the problem with my list is that I haven't running a battalion. And I have thought about it, like I would like to have a battalion because obviously you get like a lot more CP, but like I just can't figure out how to, like, yeah, I just haven't figured out how to get it to be a battalion, I guess. If I can figure that part out, then maybe I would have the CP to take a Leviathan, and I like the Leviathan. It's a little bit more reliable, I guess, than the Contemptor because it's like 2d3 shots on the cannon rather than 1d6, right? And obviously you've got your invulnerable save built in and stuff. But yeah, so basically the way I was running the list was that the Chaplain on a bike was going to go onto one flank with the Vanguard veterans, right? And like they were going to contest, like, I guess the way you would look at it is almost like a tertiary objective, right? So like the first map was like sweep and clear, so it's a 5 objective map. So if I hold the one in my deployment zone with a whirlwind and I push forward towards the middle, like with the Dreadnoughts and the Blade Guard veterans, then I'm only going to hold 2. So if I don't get on a third, I've lost the game on primaries, right? So I have to get some troops onto a third objective. So in this case, the plan was to use the Vanguard veterans, obviously with their storm shields, and the Chaplain on a bike as the squad of guys that will be contesting like the third objective. And in the first game against Thousand Suns, this went fine. I believe the Chaplain on a bike and the Vanguard veterans got tied up with like a squad of Beasts of Nurgle on that objective. I'd actually, when the Beasts of Nurgle originally charged them, I think I had them suppressed, so we got to fight first. And I guess because we got to fight first in that one engagement, we kind of gained the upper hand, and over like the next 2 or 3 turns, the Chaplain and the Vanguard, the Chaplain and the Vanguard veterans killed all the Beasts of Nurgle. Right, so like I controlled the third objective. It kind of won me the game, I guess, and yeah, I mean, I guess we just pushed on from there because we were at least keeping up on primaries. I think he actually held middle a couple of times over me because he did, like, he was Thousand Suns and he had like a great unclean one and he had like a million smites as you do. So he managed to, I think in turn 1 or turn 2 even, he managed to smite away like my whole Blade Guard veteran, or he managed to mortal wound them to oblivion with, he had like Araman and a sorcerer as well, right? So he was like, yeah, he basically managed to kill the Blade Guards just with like mortal wound spam from psychic powers, really. But yeah, the Vanguard and the Chaplain worked well in that game. In the second game, who did I play second? Second game I played Yukari, and the Vanguard and the Chaplain didn't work so well against Yukari. They went in, and I think they went into contest an objective, they maybe killed a raider, and then they got swamped by like a ton of witches and a character that obviously, like, it's very difficult for you to get to those because in the, like in turn 1 and turn 2 they're literally inside raiders. So you just like I had to commit the Chaplain in that forward, and I guess fortunately they were strong enough to survive. What's funny about that was actually people, last week or something, you guys were asking me like, does it make sense to put Iron Resolve on that Chaplain? Like, is it worth it? Well, that chaplain survived that game with like 1 wound left. So, and obviously with Iron Resolve gives him that extra wound and also the 6+ shrug. So basically, like, if I hadn't given him Iron Resolve, that was only a 5-point win in that game. I probably lost that game, to be honest. Iron Resolve kept that chaplain in it, kept him killing witches throughout the game, and kind of kept him a little bit defensively on the flank that I wanted to push, right? With those guys. In game 3, which was also a win, I think it was against the AdMech, the chaplain and the Vanguard veterans did great on one of the wings again. They killed like 10 Cerberus Raiders. I think they killed them in turn 2 because they fell back. You know, they used the stratagem, so I couldn't charge them in turn 1 basically. But you know, they did their job and we win the game. In game 4 against the Harlequins, I don't remember, but I guess the idea was the same. They were on a flank. Do you know what? I think they were on a flank actually. Yeah, no, they were on a flank. They were fine, but he kind of had a lot of jet bikes and he threw them into me like very early in the game. And I guess the chaplain and the Vanguard veterans ended up just holding objectives and just scoring points for primaries. They didn't actually fight much. But in game 5 against the Drukhari, the one game I lost, the chaplain and the Vanguards, I think I got a turn 1 charge off with them. And I think I did kill about 10 Drukhari. But the problem was, like, after I killed those Drukhari, there was like 10 raiders there. Or maybe not 10 raiders. There was a bunch of guys in raiders. And you just spilled out like a bunch of Cabal and Incubis from the raiders and just mopped them all up. So like, you could say it was a misplay. I could have sat and not gone so aggressive with the chaplain and the veterans, but like the takeaway that I got from that, and this could be the wrong thing to take away though, but the takeaway I got from that is that's a great unit and they do a lot of damage, right? With their lightning claws and their chaplain, and I don't have anything on there that's really necessary in terms of speed, right? Like it didn't. I reckon even if I didn't have a jump pack, I could have probably made a turn 1 charge because I deploy them quite far forward. I think the charge was maybe like 5 inches. So yeah, even if I didn't have a jump pack, we could probably have made that turn 1 charge. But I think the thing that I took away from that is, if you're going to do something like that and put guys on a flank with a reason to contest an objective, which I think is it's a good play. Like obviously, maybe like I think my strategy in game 5 was wrong because it was battle lines, and battle lines is only 4 objectives. So like I already said, like my army was geared to hold one side of the map. So I should have, like at the end of that game, actually, the game I lost, I still had a Dreadnought that was he was in top bracket. I still had my Tech Marine, I still had my Chapter Master, I still had my Inceptors, I still had my Whirlwind, I still had my Librarian. Like I had a lot of units left. If that game had gone, you know, in the olden days when like in turn 5 you rolled the dice and on a 4+ you played turn 6 and then on turn 6, like on a 5+ you played another turn. If this had been like an olden game and we'd rolled for those additional turns, I would have wiped the Eldar player. Like I had enough left on the map. I think he maybe had like 1 character, 2 raiders, 5 Incubi maybe, and like 5 Cabal, and that was it. So he maybe had like 300-400 points left. I maybe had like 800-900 points left. So like I definitely screwed up my scope. You'll see why I'm kicking myself, but I really should have gone 5-0 if I'd had a little bit more experience against Dark Elder, because obviously that was like my first and second game this edition against Dark Elder, so I guess 50-50, win 1 lose 1 isn't bad. But I feel like if I'd had a little bit more experience against Dark Eldar, I really do think I win and go 5-0. But also the thing that came up with this strategy was like against Dark Eldar, and and maybe it's maybe only then that's the problem. It could be other things, but I have to commit the chaplain and the Vanguard veterans onto the objective to get the points, right? They don't have any guns. I kind of have to, and like when you commit to the objective, yes, you will kill everything that's on the objective, but if there's a Drukhari raider there with 10 witches or something inside it, then you will get destroyed next turn, because he'll just pop out 10 witches. They won't even need to make a charge roll because they'll be so close to you. And for the points cost, witches do so much damage, and they also save really, really reliably. I believe they've got like a 4-up in Van in combat, and as you get later in the game as well, Dark Elder have those like stacking buffs as well, like they get stronger as the game goes on. So my thought behind this was like, I want a unit that can challenge a flank, but I don't want to have to commit with the unit 100% like early game. Like I want to have enough that I can take somebody off an objective, but also I don't want to have to commit like the unit to its death in turn 1 or 2, right? Because like, if there's a way to take the enemy off the objective and have my unit kind of safe, and on the maps we were playing there was all these forests and stuff, so like I could have easily had, like if that had been in the game I tried against the Necrons where I just replaced them with 7 Terminators, if I had 7 Terminators, you know, 12 inches away or 15 inches away, just far enough away that it's difficult for him to charge me, and I can just shoot like an absolute array of bolter fire, then maybe, and it might not work against all armies, but in some armies, like it would certainly have been an interesting option, right? So I don't know. I mean, my list is very different to a lot of Blood Angels players, and you'll see that when we talk to Jack next week, because Jack runs that all melee list that like a lot of people like to run, or a lot of people in previous editions like to run. But yeah, I think the core of my list is very, very good. And yeah, I think I'm bringing in Soul Warden now, and I would like, if I can drop another character and go down to 3 characters as well, that makes picking Assassinate against me even more difficult, right? So like, Bring It Down is not a good pick against me because you only score 6 points. Assassinate, I guess, is a good pick right now because you can score 13, but if I can lose a character, it becomes only 10. Grind Them Down is a bad pick against me because I have so few units. In the game that I beat Dark Elder, he picked Grind Them Down against me, and he didn't score any points. Like, I shut him out. He got 0 points for Grind Them Down. And because I only won the game by 5 points, that's one of the reasons, that's one of the reasons that I won that game, because he did like, Dark Elder are always going to flood units onto your primaries. Like, that's a thing that they do. They put a raider on one of your primaries, and then they just wait for you to blow the raider up, and then they unload like 10 OBSEC units onto your primary objective. So like, that is 100% going to happen. So like, I shut him down and he got 0 points for Grind Him Down, which means he was probably, I think he beat me by primaries by like 5 points. But I beat him on secondaries by 10 points because I shut him down on Grind Him Down. So yeah. Good evening, Hydra. Good evening, Camille. Yeah, I like Litany of Faith on the chaplain as well. I really do, but like, I find that my lists work best when I have Null Zone, and I know some people don't care for Null Zone, or maybe don't rate it so highly, but like, the threat of Null Zone can be really, really strong, I guess. When I played Harlequins, actually, the guy spent like 2 CP to give like a big squad of jet bikes a 3+ invulnerable save, which was beautiful because he didn't have any psychers, so I just jumped over and null zoned them and like just destroyed them. And like when he lost all his jet bikes, and this was really early in the game, like I think it was turn 1, he lost like, I think I killed 10 jet bikes in turn 1. And like the guy was like, I mean, he still had a strong list, but like I just did so much damage with the null zone, it was crazy. And I guess he planned to like basically do like a fire and fade on me, and was probably expecting to take very, very few losses. And yeah, I killed all his jet bikes. Null zone is excellent. It's just risky. Do you know what? It is risky, but it's also not. If you're psychic master, then you cast on a 6, right? Because you get the +1 to cast. 2d6 cast of a 6 with a reroll is 92%. So 9 out of 10 times when you need null zone to go off, it goes off, I guess, right? Hey Jeff, good evening. Just finished some assault terminators and intercessors. Nice. I always get confused. Intercessors, inceptors, etc., etc. They always all these units with similar names always get confused. I actually want to paint my assault terminators, but I'm doing my ones with guns just now. Not sure it's the best option, but that's what I've decided to do first, I guess. Should have let that dry a bit more, maybe. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a video up this week on like all the games that I played in the tournaments, what I liked, what I didn't like, and also basically just the strategies, I think, and hopefully it'll provide you guys with some value as well. Null zone affects your own units. Yes, it does, but if you run Sanguinary Guard, for example, or in my case, like Redemptors, you know, they don't have invulnerable saves, so it doesn't. You're not losing anything. If your units that are going to jump in behind the null zone don't have invulnerable saves, then you literally lose nothing, I guess. I'm currently building a Librarian Dreadnought from Forge World Contemptor Custodes Dreadnought. Very cool, Chris E. Do you mean something like this? I just do not have the time to. I will paint this guy, I promise you, at some time. Am I going to the LGT? No, I am not going. The next tournament I've got is in like 2 months, and it's a very local tournament. I have a 2-year-old, and my wife is also pregnant, so I think one tournament when I'm away for like 48 hours, 72 hours this year is probably already pushing it. So the other tournament I'm going to, I'll be able to like go there and come home the same day. So or I'll be able to travel to the tournament both days. So like I won't be leaving my wife with quite so much responsibility, I guess. I think Andrew and Colin are going to the LGT. Do you know what? Andrew is taking a horrific list. It's a very, 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 very broken orc list. I posted it up in Discord earlier, actually. I'm supposed to be fighting on Monday night. I'm going to bring my falchion. I'm not going to bring this list, because this list I think has no chance against it. It's just that broken, really. It's kind of sad to say that, but it's kind of true, I guess. Like, it is just a super broken list. Yeah, and remember, Null Zone is just a 6-inch aura, so you can advance and cast psychic powers. So I think it's... I mean, I say it's easy to not have your own units in the Null Zone. I've killed my whole army almost on stream before using Null Zone, because a bunch of my own units were in the Null Zone bubble, but you live and you learn, I guess. Took my dog and found 30 quid in the grass. That's the Vanguard veteran spot. Man. Fair enough. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna run my main list though is gonna be pretty much the same as this tournament. However, I want to replace the things that go on the other. So I like the option of having something that can go onto a flank and contest an objective. I think that's a great play to have. If it's a strong, durable unit that can do a lot of damage in close combat, all the better. But I just wonder if that unit can also do shooting, you know, like in terms of like in terms of Terminators, for example, you're going to get 28 bolter shots, right? 28 bolter shots isn't that amazing, but I mean it's good against infantry, and you also have that cyclone missile launcher potentially as well. So if you don't want to have to commit super hard in turn 1 and then get wiped off the map, which is kind of the risk that you're playing with just having like one small unit on one flank, then I wonder if this is a better option. There is other things I could do, right? You know, I could keep the Vanguard veterans and just... I was actually thinking you could maybe do something like a small Vanguard veteran squad and a squad of suppressors. And I know suppressors don't see a lot of action, but like they can hang back, they can get 9 autocannon shots. Autocannons are going to be pretty good at opening up Drukhari raiders as well, right? Because like you'll still wound on 3s against the raiders, and you kind of force them onto their run save as well. So like suppressors that can sit back and shoot for a couple of turns and then have the Vanguard veterans charge sounds interesting to me as well. Have I tried a wet pallet? I've kickstarted a wet pallet that a lot of people have told me to get a wet pallet, Karim. So I have kickstarted one. I believe it's called the wet pallet. I kickstarted it maybe like 6 months ago at this point. It feels like it's been a while. Yeah, like they emailed me just the other week and said like, hey, we're almost ready to take people's shipping details. So at some point soon, I guess, I will have a wet pallet. But no, I've never used one. I just have what people in here have told me, like, you should get one. But honestly, I don't know if I'm the greatest painter. Like, I'm not gonna say I enjoy painting. I enjoy having my models finished and stuff, but like, I'm never gonna win Golden Demon, right? Like, I try and be accurate, and usually I go ahead and like fix mistakes and stuff, and I feel like my stuff does look pretty decent, but like, yeah, I'm not a competitive painter or anything like that at all. Can I have my Sanguinius as my warlord in 40k? You cannot, unless your friend lets you proxy him as something else. Unfortunately, Sanguinius is dead in the 40k timeline. We all kind of want like a new Primarchy type character, I'm sure, for Blood Angels to return, but as it stands at the moment, no. Sanguinius is very, very dead, I guess. Started to use the Indomitus Captain, Armor Indomitus and Adamantium and his Relic Shield for a 4+ mortal wound save. It's not a bad idea. I was going to say, the Indomitus Captain is just, like, how many wounds has he got? Is it 5 wounds, 6 wounds? I actually don't know. I never actually built my Indomitus Captain, you know that? I've got 2 of them because I bought 2 copies of Indomitus. But yeah, I just never got around to building them. I guess I prefer my captains either with a jump pack or on a bike. Could it be viable to take 3 Storm Ravens in any circumstance? I don't think so, not in this edition. They're too easy to kill. Their weakness is that they have no invulnerable save, really. Like if you play against, like for example, like the list I played against Drukhari, they'll just shoot your Storm Ravens out of the air in no time at all, and they're so expensive. Like you'll be getting killed by like 95 point models, and your models what's the Storm Raven at the moment? Like 300 plus points or something. I mean, I have a Storm Raven. I think it's a great model, but yeah, I just don't think it's really viable at the moment. Six wounds. Yeah, Karim, you know that people have told me you can make your own wet palette. I don't know, I guess I kickstarted this one, so I'm just gonna wait for it. Maybe it was the wrong call, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been painting without a wet palette for the best part of a decade, I guess, so it wasn't even something that was on my mind until I actually started streaming my painting, and then people were like, you totally should be having a wet palette. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't take, I actually don't even really know what the advantage is. Your paint just doesn't dry out so quickly, or something like that. And then Dominus Captain is slow as well. Yeah, I mean, sometimes and I've definitely said this on stream as well, like sometimes we say units are slow because they don't have jump packs or whatnot. Like in this tournament that just passed, in like 2 of the games, I had like my Blade Guard veterans in the enemy's deployment zone in like turn 3. And I think this is what I was trying to say in like my video that I made last week. I'm not going to LGT next week, Simone. I was just at a tournament last week, and yeah, like my wife is, she's pretty heavily pregnant, so I just don't think I could wangle going at 2 tournaments in 2 weeks' time. Some of the people from the Plastic Crackheads are going though. Andrew's been building a new orc list this week to go, but yeah, not me. I have another tournament in a few weeks after this anyway, which is much more local, so maybe we'll get next year, but like, yeah, it's just hard with young kids because, I work all week on the day job, and then the wife looks after the kids all week, so it's kind of hard to just be like, hey, how about you just keep looking after the kids all weekend and I fuck off and play Warhammer, like it's nice that she let me do it like one time already, like it's a bit like, the thing is, she'd probably say yes if I asked her, like, hey, can I go to another tournament? Like, my wife's good like that, but like, I don't want to take the piss, I guess, right? Because she's actually quite supportive of like the YouTube channel and stuff, like if of an evening, if I'm like, I really need to work on a YouTube video tonight, she's usually, yeah, I understand, no problem, so yeah, she probably would actually let me go to 2 tournaments in like a few weeks time, but yeah, I'm not going to. I could paint on a wet palette for a few weeks and it was fine. Yeah, I suppose that's the thing I've heard. Yeah, you can just have the paint on there and you don't have to worry about it drying out or anything. I've heard a couple of stories where the wet palette could go moldy, so I guess, who knows. When this Redgrass one was really highly recommended, like apparently like it's version 2 or something of this Redgrass one, so like the first version had like loads of crazy good reviews, so hopefully it's good anyway. That's kind of why I kickstarted it, I guess. It makes the paint more silk. Yeah, well, that'll be cool. It is always a pain when you are using a normal palette that you always have to spend a little bit of time getting the paint to the right consistency, so. This brush is starting to get knackered though. I've used it for a lot of hours of painting. I actually don't know if I have any spare brushes, or any of these. These are my favorite brushes, these Element Games character brushes. I love them. I need Element Games to hurry up and sponsor me and send me some free character brushes. But no, I definitely recommend them. They're really good. The music could be quite loud tonight. I turned it down a tad. Could also just be different songs coming in at different volume. As far as I can tell, you already have 2 of the 3 components. You know what? I could probably make one. But yeah, like I've ordered one now, so I'll just wait. And I'll try and use the official one when it finally comes. Like I said, I'm not going to win any golden demons, so I'm not I'm not too worried. If I won a golden demon, the only reason would be that nobody else entered that year, I guess. Good evening, James. How you doing? Well, I think the one that I kickstarted, like it came with like a bunch. I don't know. I think it comes with like a bunch of like patented pending wet palette paper or something. Like there was a big like I said, it was supposed to be a big deal. Do you know what? When it comes, I will do a review of it for the channel, and then you guys can get the lowdown on like if I think it's worth it or whatnot, I guess. I like some of these poses these incursors are in, right? They're pretty cool. I'm gonna put a little bit of metal underneath his head though, or a little bit of... I always hate painting yellow on their heads because one tiny little mistake of another color and then you have to do about 3 coats of yellow over it to get it back, because yellow is like the worst color. Yellow and white are like the 2 colors that just like, they do not go over the top of other paints nicely at all. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed, these incursors, all of them have beak heads, eh? So this is a squad of old, I like the beak heads. So yeah, these guys are all rocking the beakies. Just cause reasons, basically. Picked up my Bladeguard Lieutenant from Imperium, looking like Mondays for my first couple of Assault Intercessors. Nice. I did actually mean to try and get a few copies of Imperium for myself, because I guess like you could essentially make like some really cheap squads of Bladeguards if you bought like a bunch of Imperium magazines, but like yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff this week because we're trying to move house, and it kind of, I saw some people posting on Twitter that they got like a bunch of Imperium magazines, and I was like, do you know what, by the time I go downtown to try and find some, I bet it'll be too late, they'll be all sold out. So but I'm excited to get moved house. Like this room right now where I'm painting in is an absolute bomb zone. Like there's stuff everywhere, all over the floor. It's just a complete mess. So once I get moved, I'm going to hopefully get some nice shelving up behind me, and then hopefully going to get some like Blood Angels wall art or something. Like that's something I've wanted almost since we started the channel, to get some Blood Angels wall art. Isn't Vanguard helmets supposed to be gold? Well, these aren't Vanguard. These are Incursors, and they are battle lines. So I think they're supposed to be yellow. The veterans helmets typically are gold, but sometimes I do my veterans armors in gold and like give them a like a red helmet. I've done that on quite a few of my squads, but this guy is a veteran, so he has a gold helmet. These other guys, though, these are Incursors. So these guys should, I believe, have yellow helmets. Arguably, the Sergeant could maybe have a gold helmet, but I just gave him this, you know, I gave him one of these wreathy helmets where he's got like wreaths on. So he's just going to have a yellow helmet as well, I guess. I think for my assault intercessors, I did actually give them gold helmets, even though they're battle line, right? So I guess with helmets, I kind of just do what I'm feeling like on the day. I don't. Infiltrators are red and cursors are yellow. Okay, yeah, so cursors are yellow. I did my infiltrators helmets in black though, because I thought that. I think I said this on stream before. I felt like infiltrators are kind of like special ops, you know, because they have those like comms arrays, right, where people can't like deep strike down on them and stuff. So it was actually Colin did the infiltrators that he had for his Ultramarines in black, and he basically said the same thing to me. He was like, I feel like they're special ops, so they're gonna have black helmets, and I think he actually did their armor black as well. So when Colin did them for his Ultramarines, they kind of looked a little bit like Deathwatch. You know, so they were like black armor, blue Ultramarine shoulder pad, or shoulder pads maybe plural, and then like he had the black helmet, and I really liked it. So I put my infiltrators on black helmets. So they're basically the same color scheme as these guys, but just black helmets. And yeah, I suppose they could be red, but do you know what? The black idea is pretty cool as well. I liked it a lot, actually. I thought it looked pretty dope. But these guys, I think... Do you know what? It seems like... I think at this tournament I was just I don't think anyone deep striked any units against me. Let me think. No, nobody deep striked anything. So like I paid 15 extra points basically for the infiltrators, and it was completely irrelevant. Like no one deep striked anything. And like when I first started taking infiltrators, like there was a lot of deep strike going on, and I guess I play sisters, or I play Andrew's sisters a lot, and Andrew typically always has sister units for deep strike, or strategic reserves, I guess. But if no one else is running deep strike and no one else is running strategic reserves, then it seems pointless to keep them, and Incursors are better in combat. And combat is obviously where we excel as Blood Angels. I really want to paint the top of this gun, but like I just don't have an angle to get my brush in there. I'll have to tidy this up afterwards, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure I got silver paint on his arm. Black pauldron trim, I see a man of culture. I tend to always do a black knee pad on the left knee, and then sometimes I do black pauldron trims. On the Sergeant, I've done just a full black pauldron, and I'm going to put some gold on this Blood Angels. It's not an Aquila, these Blood Angels wings, I guess. But yeah, I always do the black knee pad. I also like to do the black rim on the feet. I don't know how well you can see that because he's standing on something, but like I always think if you rim the feet, it helps separate them from the base, and like you can see here, I've definitely made some mistakes on that rim, but I'll go back, like I'll tidy all this up after. I tend to spend a lot of time just putting down base colors. Base colors is probably the slowest part of my painting, where I just do, like, you know, they used to always talk about two thin coats on the Games Workshop website. And when I started painting, that's what I was listening to, so I kind of always do my two thin coats. of base colors, and yeah, that's why I take me ages to finish models, or that's why I take ages to do models, I guess. And besides Sanguinary Guard, would you be able to recommend any good unit firstborn choices that would stack up to Primaris counterparts? Thanks for the tips and the pointers as always. Well, I mean, Vanguard veterans are very good. A lot of people run them with lightning claws. In some ways, they're against some armies they're better than Sanguinary Guard, right? Because of the -1 damage that some armies have really hurt Sanguinary Guard, but Vanguard veterans with lightning claws don't have to deal with that. And obviously, lightning claws lets you reroll all the wounds, which is really nice, especially against high armor stuff, or after that first round of combat, rerolling all the wounds is really nice. You know, I've done a few videos on Vanguard veterans, Kane. So if you've never run Vanguard veterans, Storm Shields and Lightning Claws, and maybe like a couple mixed into the squad with Thunderhammers is very good. Again, the Thunderhammer, they can take a Storm Shield with it, so that they're pretty survivable. I'm just starting to try out Terminators again. I ran them at the very beginning of 9th, so jury's out on Terminators right now, but on the painting table behind me, I'm painting 7 Terminators. I think having tricks against reserves is still smart. Higher level players will be running reserves, and some of them very, very often. Yeah, I guess I think that, like, so I run the Whirlwind, and I also have my company veterans, and I also have, in this case, incursors. I feel like I have enough ways to screen a good amount of the deployment zone. Yeah, I don't know, for the longest time I loved infiltrators. The first box of Phobos troops I got, I made all infiltrators. I still think infiltrators are very, very good. The one thing I don't like about them is their lack of punch in close combat, but apart from that, like, I've got no problem with infiltrators. I like the auto wounds on their guns as well when they shoot. I think it's pretty nice. So overall, I guess maybe just the list I'm running incursors make more sense. And yeah, I guess you're right, Kurum. Against Grey Knights, with all their teleporting dreadnoughts, infiltrators are going to be pretty good. So yeah, infiltrators are still good, don't get me wrong. Like, I like them still. But you know what, at the same time, I do not have a painted squad of incursors. I have 2 fully painted squads of infiltrators. I don't have a painted squad of incursors, so it's been too long. Even this will also give me options if I want to get back to battalion. And I think at some point I do want to try and run a battalion again, just because I like the extra CP you get when you have that battalion. Like it's genuinely quite good, I think. So, Firstborn Death Company is better than their Primaris Bloodthirst. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Firstborn Death Company are better than Primaris Death Company, just, I'd say, because of the mobility alone. I don't really love where Death Company are right now in terms of points and their position within the meta, so like, I haven't running any myself. But you know, there is ways to make Death Company work, and you can still take 10 of them, and you can still Forlorn Fury up the board, and basically in turn 1 and do a lot of damage with Death Company. So yeah, Death Company are definitely better than the Primaris Death Company, I think. And it's mainly just because they get better weapon options and they get to take a jump pack, right? Hey Brent, good evening. I like infiltrators, but they're not an auto include. Yeah, maybe that's all I'm saying about infiltrators. Like, infiltrators are good, and up until now I thought they were an auto include, but maybe they're not quite as auto include as I thought they were, just because it seems like some armies, or a good number of armies, are stepping away from having anything in Deep Strike. I was really surprised that I played 5 games at a tournament and like nobody had a single deep striking unit. Just just even for the tactical question mark that deep striking brings, right? Because like if you know your opponent's got something in deep strike, you always have to sort of think like, they're gonna have this unit coming in for deep strike, so I need to be prepared for that. Even if that unit isn't particularly great, you still have to be prepared for it coming in, or it could come in and like spoil your battle plans or something like that, right? The Black Templars are being revealed in 2 or 3 hours. Okay, Gen Con, I guess. I will not be awake in 2 or 3 hours, so you guys will have to you'll have to post some links in Discord so I can check it when I wake up. After Forlorn Fury and the +1 attack spell got nerfed, Death Company is kind of meh. How did Forlorn Fury get nerfed? What, the fact you can't cast it multiple times, or? Because it's still I actually forget what the ruling for Forlorn Fury was before, but now it's just a 12-inch move if you have a jump pack. Like, I don't think there's a problem with that. Like, what part of it got nerfed again? I had my first game post-pandemic yesterday and got a lucky null zone off on Mortaria and beat the hell out of him with Sanguinary Guardian Captain. That is so good to hear. Why was it lucky? Did you roll a 7 or something and he failed to deny it? That's how I beat Colin's Mortarian like 2 weeks ago. We just null zoned him in I think it was turn 1, and we just killed him. Mortarian kind of doesn't do so well when he can't save, I guess. Used to be able to advance. Right. I mean, still, a 12-inch move plus their 12-inch jump. I mean, like, the board is smaller now, right? So, like, 24 inches before you have to make a charge roll. I mean, it doesn't feel like that bad of a nerf to me. Like, I feel like you shoot, like, unless the opponent's going to deploy right at the back of their deployment zone, I feel like you get to charge what you wanted to charge, right? Like, I don't feel like it's a huge issue, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. By all means. I'm not always right. Why no drilled barrels? Because I've been doing Space Marines the same way for like 10 years, and when I was much younger I didn't know shit about painting or anything like that, so none of my barrels on all my old models are drilled, so I just never drilled any of the new barrels. I'm much more of a competitive guy than a painting and modeler, if that makes sense though, right? Like, I do enjoy having like a reasonably good looking army. I do enjoy the painting side of it, but like, realistically, my favorite part of the hobby is playing is the competitive aspect, I guess, right? Like, playing and winning games is what I thrive on. So like, I would rather spend my evening going over army lists and codexes than I would drilling gun barrels. But I made my Phobos guys from my combat patrol into infiltrators, but want incursors too. If I get the start collecting vanguards, can I use leftover bits to make 5 of them incursors? I think you can. I think the start collecting vanguards lets you make them as infiltrators or incursors, honestly, because they're on the same sprue, I think. Because if you buy, if you just buy a box of Phobos troops or infiltrators, it's the same box, right? It's just the same models in the box, I think. As an American and a combat vet, I can tell you that the most scary part of the weapon is the big gaping barrel staring at you. See, so I'm not American, obviously, and in Scotland, guns have been banned for like 20-something years. We had like you know what it's like. We had a shooting at a school or something, and then after that, our government just went like, no, that's the last time this is ever happening. We're just completely going to ban guns. And I guess where it is now in Scotland, for me anyway, as an adult, right, like I haven't seen a handgun in like, I don't know, like 20 years. Like the only time I would ever see a handgun is like if I was in a foreign airport, for example, and like, or a foreign police, you know. So like for me, like, I don't know, I guess I've got no attachment to guns. They're kind of scary because we're not around them or anything like that, you know. So yeah, I guess I just don't drill barrels. I have some friends here that drill barrels, actually, you know that? Like, I definitely have some friends that do it, but like it's just, I don't know, like, it might seem strange as an adult male to just say I am scared of guns, but yeah, I am, because we just don't have them, right? Like, it's just not a thing you would ever see, because they've been banned for so many years in this country. No, I don't have a wet pallet. Someone asked about that already tonight. I have kickstarted one, and hopefully I will have one soon. But yeah, hopefully. I think the Kickstarter has completed. I think they got all their funding, so it's just a case of they're working out the logistics. It would have probably been delivered already, actually, if there hadn't been the damn pandemic. You know, the pandemic has slowed everything down, hasn't it? Unfortunately, the start collecting Vanguard is an easy to build kit and it only makes infiltrators. Oh, that's annoying. That is very annoying. No drill barrels for Hydra because he's lazy. Yeah, maybe I should have just said I'm lazy. I don't know. I just have been doing 40k since I was like 13 years old, and when I was 13 years old, there was no YouTube. There was White Dwarf, and probably like I never really bought White Dwarf because I was on a budget at 13 years old, and I would rather buy new models and new tanks and stuff than White Dwarf. So like I never even heard of anyone drilling their barrels until like way later in my Warhammer career, and at that point I'd already got like so many units painted and stuff. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to start this now. And I guess that's why some of my color schemes might be a little bit retro as well, because like I'm just adhering to what I've had for like 20 years. Oh, that's cool that you understand Texan. Yeah, it's really, it's honestly, it's a bit surreal. Like I remember I was in the airport in Florida, and you know, me and my wife actually went to Florida for honeymoon, and like in the airport, like obviously there's just policemen with guns, and like it's just scary. I'm like, oh, it's basically like a holy shit moment. It's like, holy shit, he's got a gun, because like the only place I'd ever see a gun is like a movie theater, right? Like you just don't see them anymore because they've been banned. So yeah, it's very weird. It's a bit surreal. It's hard to explain it, but I guess that's what it feels like over here anyway. In Switzerland, every man who served has his service rifle at home. Do you know what? My granda used to have a rifle, so I've seen like an old like rifle for hunting foxes or something. But yeah, like actual guns for combat and stuff, it's not something we ever see anywhere. Scottish prefer long swords. That is very true. The Scottish national dress, you actually have a knife in your sock. So the Scottish national dress would be very well prepared for if we ever had a zombie apocalypse, because everybody has a knife in their sock, which is very funny actually. We ban knives, but like when you guys go out in suits or something for a wedding, all Scotsmen have knives in their socks. So yeah, I guess not the most logical argument, I guess. Wet pallets are the way to go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it when I get it. I also need to get some new brushes. I've been using these ones for way too long. I've been kind of, like I said, I'm moving house next month, and it's kind of the house move has thrown it's been difficult. I've been very busy because of it. If you leave off the heads and you change up the backpacks, you should be able to switch them to incursors, I assume. I guess it's more like a kit bash. Yeah, maybe you could kit bash. I met my wife of 10 years because of Warhammer. Oh, cool. I don't know many... Actually... Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know many women that are into Warhammer, but that's cool. Scotland are true enthusiasts of melee combat. Yeah, maybe that's why I play Blood Angels. That is. Do you know what? As much as the Scotland national dress has a knife, it's actually a real pain. So I actually don't wear my knife anymore. Like if we go out, like if I went to a wedding, I just wouldn't wear the knife because, like, see, after the wedding or whatnot, when the wedding finishes, like, people would usually head to like a bar or a nightclub or like a, I guess we'd call them a pub over here, and half the time, like, the pubs won't let you in with a knife, of course. Like, why would you be going to a pub with a knife? So, like, I typically actually don't wear my knife, like, with the national dress, just because it becomes a headache. You know, like, if after the wedding, because sometimes weddings finish quite early, right? Like, I've been at weddings that, like, finish at, like, let's say, like, 11:30, like, midnight, and, like, over here bars can be open to, like, 3 a.m. So, you know, like, maybe you weren't ready to finish drinking at, like, 11:30, so we'll be like, right, we want to go to a bar and continue this night, you know? And it's like, if you have the knife in your sock, then if you go to the bar, you're just gonna have a headache. Some places will, like, let you check it in, but some places will just be like, no, you can't come in because you have a knife, of course. Like, why would you have a knife at a nightclub? So, yeah, yeah, I just don't wear mine anymore. It's just a pain. No one typically really notices anyway, right? I should start putting my paint in squares. It seems relaxing. Yeah, maybe when I get the wet palette, we'll see if we put the paint in squares. All my palette bits are squares, 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 squares. I don't know why. Someone else asked about squares. It must be some sort of weird. I don't know why I put squares. It's like subconscious, I guess. Like, we just make squares of paint. If you wear a double-edged, yeah, I don't know. The world has gone crazy as of late, hasn't it? But we can still enjoy Warhammer, that's the main thing. I actually have no idea how to paint this mine, right? Like, I could just slap, like, silver all over it to start with. Has anyone painted the mine on the incursors? And if so, how did you paint it? I mean, I just have it undercoated with Dawnstone at the moment. But if someone's painted the mine and has any advice for me, I'd love to hear how you painted the mine. What's the most detailed bass? Base bass? Base bass? I'm not sure what you mean. Living ghost. Black with a big red button in the middle, silver under. Black with a big red button. Silver with a black wash, tried lead belcher for the outside, then rune lord brass for the center area. Hey Benjamin, how you doing? Alright, I guess this is lead belcher I'm using at the moment. Alright, we'll put lead belcher on the outside. We may go with brass, we may also go with the red button idea. I like that idea too. I tend to like lead belcher because in the grand, like, you know, they always talk about the grim dark of the 41st millennium. I don't know if, what's the silver paint again? Storm Host Silver or something? I don't know. I don't use it. I just use lead belcher. For all my silver is, everything that has to be like metallic for my army is lead belcher. I don't use anything else. Just because I guess I feel like it's, if you put like a null oil wash over lead belcher, I think it's quite gnarly. I like it in terms of the 41st. Lead belcher is great because you can build it up or build it down. Yeah, that's very true. I think lead belcher just with like a black wash over it is it's very easy, and you get a very, like, I guess, yeah, like, I would say, I was speaking to someone actually at this tournament just passed, and he was saying that, like, he would call his painting style like a battle ready plus, which means like it's kind of like battle ready but just a little bit more. And I guess that's probably what I would call lead belcher. Like if you do lead belcher and give it like a little bit of a wash and then maybe like a little bit of a highlight, yeah, you can very easily have that like battle ready plus paint scheme. Yours are like mine, already carrying the mines. Yeah, I figured like even if I'm not going to pay the 10 points for the mine, the guy's going to carry it because I don't know if I'm buying 2 squads of incursors or 3. Like I suppose I could have magnetized the mine arm, but like I don't know. If it's, you know, for the most part all my armies are WYSIWYG. But maybe for the mine, like if anyone asks me before the battle, I'll just say like, oh no, I've not paid the points for the mine. Like I'm just not doing it. I don't know. I don't want to have to paint 3 squads of Phobos units to have like 2 with the mine and 2 without or something, or 4 with 4 squads. It would be, I guess. I do not need that many incursors. I might get a second squad of incursors. I haven't ruled that out. I know some people run like 3 squads of incursors. You can add some Ironbreaker and Runefang Steel to highlight it, and that's how I paint my grey highlights. Oh, that's the one, yeah, Runefang Steel, yeah, and then they have like Stormhost Silver, I think, which is based on Stormhost are elves, right? So it's like it's a paint for, technically it's like an Age of Sigmar paint, but like you can use it in 40k, obviously. All right, I'm gonna do this guy next. My incursors were done in the 8th edition book, so it was an easier choice then. Why Why not have yellow casings out of 3rd edition? Do you know what? I was actually thinking of doing my Terminators with yellow Stormbolters. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it, but on my Assault Intercessors, I did do Hazard Stripes from like the old editions, you know, when all the Chainsword had Hazard Stripes on them. I quite enjoy doing the Hazard Stripes, but it's very hard to make them uniform. You know, like some stripes will just be thicker than the others, unless you want to spend forever going back and forth. You can, you know. But yeah, I like Hazard Stripes. And I do like some of the yellow Stormbolter casings. They are cool as well. I guess the problem with yellow is like you just have to make sure that like doesn't. I think with yellow there's maybe like a danger of it looking a little bit corny or cheap or something, because like I suppose it depends on what yellow you use. I use Averland Sunset mainly for my yellows. Any thoughts on Angels of Death series so far? So obviously I did 2 videos on Angels of Death. I watched the first 2 episodes like the weeks they came out, but like last week I didn't watch the episode. I didn't watch episode 3 yet because I think I was rushing to film a video the week before the tournament, right? I think that's what it was. So I was like, I didn't have a lot of time, and because I was away on like the Thursday night or whatever, I had to rush to film like that video with all the examples of like movement and stuff. So I was rushing to film that video that week, and I didn't get a chance to watch episode 3 yet. And then I didn't watch this week's episode either because I was supposed to be doing the interview with Jack Harper on Wednesday night, I think. So I got back from the tournament on Sunday, and then I played John on Monday night on the channel. On Tuesday night I like prepped all the stuff for the interview, but like Jack had another commitment that he'd forgotten about, so I had to reschedule that. So basically like the video I put out on Friday I had to throw together in like a single night. So I haven't watched episode 4 either, but you know what, I was not enjoying how the one thing that I wasn't enjoying with Angels of Death was how short the episodes were. So at least now I have 2 episodes to watch. Possibly, like I have a lot of work to do this week on that video for the tournament, so like maybe I'll get to watch it this week, maybe I won't. So at least then I'll have like 3 or 4 episodes, or at least 3 I guess. So like the one thing that I wasn't enjoying was how short the episodes are, so maybe I'll just, the next video I do in Angels of Death, like we'll watch like 3 episodes and just do a video on the next 3 episodes, because like episode 2, like I just was getting into it, right? Like it's like 12 minutes long, so it just feels like you're getting into it and it's exciting, and then it's like bang, it's finished. So based on that, I feel like I will enjoy it, and I think it is going to be good, but like I just didn't like that it was 10 minutes per episode. It's just not long enough. So hopefully the next video I make, we'll watch 3 episodes in a row or something. You're caught up, but you're not blown away. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I was trying to say to people was, this is like the very first thing coming out of that Warhammer animation studio, like their internal studio or whatever it is that they're doing now. So like, give them a chance if you can afford it, you know. Maybe it's worth your money. You know, like you do get a model that's probably like, I don't know, the Vindicator Assassin that they're giving away is probably going to be, like, if you want to just buy that model, which I don't even think they'll sell it, it's probably like $30. So at that point, you're paying $20 for Warhammer TV for the year. I don't think I'll watch the battle reports on it, honestly, because I prefer I get very limited time to watch battle reports because, you know, day job plus YouTube videos, plus very young daughter or young family, however you want to call it. So if I'm going to watch a battle report, I'm going to watch like Vanguard Tactics, or I'm going to watch like Tabletop Tactics, something that gives me like high level competitive strategies and stuff that I'm going to actually learn from, as opposed to like the battles that they're going to have on Warhammer TV. Unless, of course, they start inviting the big YouTubers onto Warhammer TV and like the battles are actually like meaningful and they're always posting over on they're always posting over on like the Warhammer 40k Facebook group, like, how can we make Warhammer TV better? If you guys want to do something, tell them that they should get popular YouTubers onto the battle reports to actually, like, you know, make it competitive battles, or have a tournament of the best YouTubers. That would be good. You know, that like a YouTuber invitational on their battle report show. That would be. I'm half expecting to see you on Warhammer TV. That would be very cool, Living Ghost. I don't think it will happen, but yeah, I mean, apparently when you get to 10,000 subscribers, like, it gives you the option to like open a channel to talk to Games Workshop. Like, they realize that like you actually have like a decent audience, and I believe at 10,000 subscribers, that's when they sometimes will send you like the preview copies of stuff, you know, like, so I could get like the codexes early so we can go over them on the channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I'll keep trying, you know. But yeah, if you wanna give them suggestions, get on, you know, like the weird thing that I thought though, right? Like, if you are a dedicated fan of Warhammer, right? Like, dedicated enough to spend $5 a month, like, do you really want to watch those? And I don't want to call them newbie battle reports, but like the battle report they had Blood Angels against Orcs, like, it wasn't like, I don't think you're learning an awful lot from their battle reports, right? Like, they're not being played at the highest level. They're not using all the stratagems. In some cases, they're forgetting some of the rules as well. I'd pay good money to watch BAC's Blood Angels tear Valorac's fists to pieces. I would like to play Valrac. I do not think I'm big enough of a YouTuber for him to even know who I am, to be honest. I occasionally watch Valrac. Like, he does pretty good videos. I watch some of his live streams. I think I've met some of you guys over in his live chat now and then. Like I said, I don't get as much time to watch other YouTubers as maybe I would like, but I would actually like to play his Imperial Fists. I believe he takes like 2 or 3 repulsors though, which is madness to me. Because I think repulsors are terrible in terms of balance. Like, they're overcosted, they don't do enough damage, they only carry Primaris. Like, I have a lot of problems with impulsors personally. But like, you know, I guess he just likes them maybe because they look cool in yellow, and they synergize a little bit with Imperial Fist Chapter Tactic, but like, yeah, I would love to play him. Maybe one day. We'll keep plugging away, maybe one day. But I would also like to see, they prefer to force their IP on YouTubers. Yeah, I would like to see the Deathwatch vet in the Blood Angels Angel of Death looks cool. Want to build one of these as a veteran sergeant. Yeah, you know what, I thought about that as well after seeing it. I was like, do I need to buy just like one Deathwatch upgrade sprue to like make one of my captains or sergeant have like the Deathwatch shoulder pad, because it does look very cool in the show. But yeah, I would love to see, like, if they ask for suggestions on how to make the battle reports better, then just dive in and tell them that they need to get more competitive, better players on there. I think is the main thing. That's the thing that would make me probably sit up and watch it more. If I knew that I was gonna get like, if I knew that I was gonna like watch the game and be like, damn, I need to reevaluate how I play because that tactic there was really, really good or something, you know? He plays Imperial Fist, be destined to lose. I mean, Blood Angels aren't in the greatest position in the meta-wise either right now, Rizziel, you could argue. I like the editing. Yeah, I would agree with that, Jamie. I thought the editing was very good on their battle reports. Do you know what? If I did battle reports as a full-time thing though, right? Like if I didn't have to go to my day job to make money to support my family and stuff, and I just did battle reports, like I think that level of quality is nice. Yeah, I would agree with that. But also sometimes it's nice to have an actual live battle as well though, right? Like maybe that's what they need to do. Like maybe they can keep their battle report thing, but they could have a live battle where they invite like the best players to play live battles. And you know, they could put them on the chess clock like we were doing at the tournament, you know, so it's like, you know, each player gets an hour and, was it like an hour and 25 minutes? Or an hour and, I think it was an hour and 22 minutes 30 seconds. So that the battles are like at quite a high pace, you know, like people don't, because if you run out of time, then all you're allowed to do is make saving throws, right? You can't, if you run out of time, you run out of time. You can't do anything except make saving throws. Blood Angels from you versus Blood Angels from the Serval Skull of Lore. Who is the Serval Skull of Lore? I run Blood Angels very different to a lot of people though, I think. I used to run them the same as everybody else, but like I really struggled with my win rate in 9th edition when I was running them as full melee. Yeah, I mean the terrain that they released for the US Open, I guess, and stuff helps. But I guess if you're at any other tournament that isn't using that sort of standardized massive amounts of terrain, then I think a full melee Blood Angels list is... I guess a full melee list is just very reliant on terrain. Which is probably why I don't run it, right? I think the battle reps on Warhammer TV are just basically commercials. Yeah, I mean they are, right? But I guess that was my point, right? Like, if you're a big enough fan to subscribe to Warhammer TV, you don't need a commercial, right, Rizziel? Because you're already a big enough fan to subscribe. So like, you know, like if they were gonna do battle reports like that, put them on their YouTube channel for free. Like, you know, fun, snappy battle reports with like, who's that new female presenter? I forget her name. Is it, you know the one I'm talking about? She's kind of short and she's got black hair, short black hair, I think. Maybe her name's Louise? I haven't watched. So basically they got the guy Nick that used to do the painting videos, and on the one that I watched when he fought his Blood Angels, I think it, no, it wasn't even Nick actually, it was the other guy. Okay, but Nick is definitely on there. Nick that was on the painting videos is now doing battle reports. I think it's Louise. Someone will, like her. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. But like, you know, get them to do those battle reports, but have them put them on YouTube, right? Because they are battle reports that will get people into the hobby, that will get people playing, because they're making it like, they're trying to be very positive. They're trying to just have fun, right? But like if you've gone one step further and subscribed, that's not really what you would be looking for, right? Like you're already in the hobby, like you're already having fun, I guess. I mean, I guess I could be wrong. I do know that the competitive side of the hobby is kind of minor. You know, like a lot more people. Well, I mean, if you look at channels like Midwinter Minis and stuff, you know, like look how many subscribers they have doing the, you know, and he's just doing painting and stuff. Like, I think Midwinter Minis does do battle reports every now and then. I have seen some, but like his channel is mainly a painting channel, I would say. So like these channels that are quote unquote mainly painting channels are like a lot bigger than my channel. That is a competitive channel, and I guess they also have probably have like better growth. Like if you go look at the analytics, their channels are growing a lot faster than my channel is. But I mean, I've already said I'm not going to win a Golden Demon. I'm not the best painter. I'm more like the thing I enjoy most is probably the thing I enjoy most is tabling enemies. You forget Winter, SEO, and Deployment Zone. Do you know what? I'm subscribed to Winter. He does do some competitive videos though, or competitive battle reports. He does a lot of lore-based ones, but like I did see him play against Steven from Vanguard Tactics like not that long ago. Like maybe, do you know what? It's hard to put a time on things because of the pandemic. It was probably 6 months ago now, because time seems to be absolutely flying by during this pandemic for some reason, or like I kind of almost can't believe it's the middle of September this year. Like, where's the year gone? But you know, Winter did play against Steven, and Steven's pretty competitive, I believe. Like, you know, he obviously runs Vanguard Tactics, which is a website just dedicated 100% to competitive play, right? Like they charge you money to be on that website to learn how to play competitive. They have a new idea to make a Warhammer 40k league. Oh, that'd be cool. I dig the retro look you have. All I can pull off on is a battle warm aesthetic. You talking about the retro look on these Marines or what, man? I just like all the old retro stuff, honestly. Have you ever done a narrative game? I have never done a narrative game. I have done a million competitive games, but never done a narrative game. At the beginning of this edition, there was a crusade going on in my local. So obviously the people that I play with on the Plastic Crackheads channel, and the people that play on my channel, Andrew, Colin, Brett, Kev, Gav, who else has played? John, all these guys, we were getting together, we were going to do a crusade, and I think some of them actually started the crusade. I have no idea where they're at with it. They made I'm sure they made a Facebook group about the crusade and were like, John, are you in for a crusade? And I was like, yeah, I am. And then I guess I kind of just prioritized working on the Blood Angels. Like, I can really only play one game a week at the moment, guys, because of my family and stuff. And yeah, so if I only get to play one game a week and I'm kind of focused on competitive play, then I'm going to play a competitive game, I guess. So it's just where it is for me right now. So I kind of dropped out of the Crusade League before it ever started, because I was like, I don't have time to. Yeah, like I said, my wife is very good. If I told her I was going to play Warhammer 2 nights a week, she would probably be okay with it. But like, I don't want to take the piss. You know, she already lets me work on this YouTube channel a bunch of other nights every week. So yeah, it's not. That is what it is. Not trying to apologize for any shortcomings in the Warhammer TV battle reps, just saying could see them being okay now and again. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I didn't hate the battle rep that I watched, and I did like how they were like trying to make it fun and stuff. It felt a little bit fake, and I felt like they should be playing armies they know like more solidly, if that would be a fair assessment. But maybe I'm, you know, like I'm probably just being overly picky, or I'm being, yeah, I'm probably just looking at it from a competitive standpoint and be like, this is what I would want to see, and this is what would make me watch it. But I mean, I'm probably I am a bit of my minority, because most people don't care so much about the competitive part. Keep up the painting and you get better. When I started 40k 3-4 years ago, I painted like a kindergarten, and now I paint some pretty good stuff: shades, highlights, object sort, license. Nice, JW. I will never pay money for tactics. Well, Karim, if you watched an ad when you came onto my stream, you might not have had to pay money for tactics, but I would have got like 1 cent when you joined the stream. So in a roundabout way, you did pay. You just didn't open your wallet, but I guess YouTube paid for you. So I think there is ads on this stream. Not that many, mind you, but I think there's probably an ad when you join the stream, I imagine. I've been watching Warhammer content for a while now, but I think I'm going to get into minis and playing. You should, Peroxide Man. If you've never played, I think it's a great hobby. Like, you need to find an army. You need to pick a couple of units, and just don't go crazy though, and don't go crazy for paints, right? Because like everybody makes the same mistake. I bought like 100 paints when I got back into the hobby, and honestly 60 of them sit in a box. You can, like, I do a lot of things with Blood Angels, and you could probably, like, if you want to hit me up on Discord or the Facebook group, you can probably get started with Blood Angels with like, I want to say 10 paints. 10 might be a little bit too thin on the ground, but like, you wouldn't need much more than 10 to get rolling. Just to keep your initial investment down to see if you actually enjoy it or not, you know? Because if you start painting and you just don't enjoy it, then it's going to be a tough hobby to get into. But there's a big divide between UK competitive and US competitive. In what way, Reziel? UK competitive stronger or US competitive stronger? I actually don't know. Is the Dark Angels Combat Patrol box good for a Blood Angels army? Yes, 100%. It gives you Inceptors, which I just talked about being one of my tournament MVPs this weekend. It gives you Redemptor, which I run 2 Redemptors on my list. I think they're a great unit. And I think it gives you a Chaplain, which is okay, I guess. Like, if you don't have any characters, the Chaplain's an okay character to get started with. You probably will either upgrade him onto one with a bike or a jump pack later. I suppose you could just buy a jump pack from eBay or something and slap a jump pack on him and just pretend he's a firstborn captain or a firstborn chaplain. That would work. And what else do you get in the combat patrol box? Some intercessors, I think. Well, I mean, intercessors are your basic troop choices. They're not great, they're not bad though, so you can always make a squad of intercessors useful, or you can always make them work for you, I guess. Imagine a battle report where it's Blood Angel's commander and his wife. My wife would need to be on my team. She knows literally nothing. I was actually surprised at one point when she said, like, I wasn't even sure she knew what a Blood Angel was, to be honest. Good evening, Pedroid. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a little while. It's been a little too long since I've been streaming, honestly. But I was away at that tournament last weekend, and I think my result of the tournament was a resounding success. I really think I should have gone 5-0. I am kicking myself that I didn't. I'll be better prepared And now I've got more experience against Admech, I've got more experience against Harlequins, Dukari, and obviously Thousand Suns as well, which are real pain in the ass. And you know, all the people in the green names in the channel that have paid some money to support this channel, essentially, I guess, paid for ideas or tactics or just to hang out. You guys are super appreciated, by the way. Like, this channel would not be where it is, I guess, without the subscribers. And I know that there's quite a lot of you now, and yeah, I mean, it's just you guys are the drive for me every week to make sure that there's always new videos and stuff out, you know? Like, it's just so nice to know that, like, plus there's a really nice community that we have here, actually. Like, you know, I always talk about the members only room in Discord, but like, we do chat in that room a lot, and yeah, it's just a nice community, I think, that we're building here. Hopefully, I'm hoping at some point Games Workshop will recognize my channel and you know, like, start giving us like the preview copies or whatever it's called, where like we get the new codexes early and stuff, and we can go over them on the channel and we can discuss all that sort of stuff. And that is very much my hope. Dave Pikey, thank you so much. 199 sticker. Hey, you should have asked a question though. Sometimes people send a super chat without asking a question. You should definitely ask a question and I'll read it out. But thank you so much. I wouldn't say outright the UK or US is better. I'm much more familiar with a much larger number of high skill US players. However, the US tournament lineup is stronger. Do you know what I mean? It's probably just based on like population, right? Like, if you compare the population of the US to the UK, it's probably like, I actually don't know, but I'm guessing it's just like, what is the population of the United States of America? Like, all the states put together? Because the population of the UK is like 50 or 60 million, right? I imagine the US just dwarfs that, something humongous, right? So it's probably just, there's a lot more, there'll probably be a lot more people, so by de facto there's a lot more high level players in the US because there's a lot more people, right? But I mean, I actually don't know. I wish GW actually customized the boxes to the chapter. It feels like they just throw things together. You're kind of right, Peroxide Man. This is why I'm hoping to get to 10,000 subscribers. Like, I don't know if there's I think somebody said there's definitely a guy that has a channel for, what's it? There's a channel that's 100% based on World Eaters. I think it's called The Red Path. I spoke to the guy that ran that channel I spoke to him one night. He's definitely a sound guy. If you like World Eaters and you want a channel to subscribe to, the channel is called The Red Path. He's a little bit smaller than me, but he's growing nonetheless, you know, and he's a cool guy. I'm sure he'll get big eventually. 380 million. All right, so there's like 6 times as many. There's 6 times as many people in United States, so yeah, probably just by that there's probably 6 times as many good Warhammer players then, right? We could all get in red power armor and stand around your table during your games. Yeah, you could. That would definitely be intimidation tactics. I really enjoyed playing with the clock this week, actually. That's what I was saying. In this tournament, you had basically a chess clock, so you only had an hour and 22 minutes for each game. And I think if you're practicing to try and be a better player, the chess clock actually is pretty good because it forces you to make your tactical decisions pretty quickly, and you have very little time to second guess them or regret them or anything like that, I guess. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing with the clock this week. Dave, thanks again, Dave. I really appreciate the super sticker. Much appreciated. Yeah, I mean, like I actually commented when they released that Blood Angels Combat Patrol box, and like I didn't think it was very good for Blood Angels. Like I commented on the Facebook post where they released it, saying like, this is not a good box for Blood Angels. Like what, you know, like, hey Games Workshop, if you want help next time figuring out a good box for Blood Angels, like I'm available. You know, just hit me up. So I honestly don't really know the logic that they had behind this current box not being very good for Blood Angels. And like you said, a bunch of people are actually picking up the Dark Angels Combat Patrol box for Blood Angels. Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know why they did that. But hopefully at one point, if I get to 10,000 subscribers, then maybe if they ask me, I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll help you pick the next Blood Angels box. And it'll be good for Blood Angels, don't worry. And the population of California alone is 21 million. Do you know what? The population of Scotland is 6 million. So one state in America has like 3 times the population of my whole country. I prefer ITC to WTC setup, and the biggest events worldwide are in the US, it seems, just as the edge of competition. So what do you think of the terrain they used in that recent US tournament then? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you have any opinions on it? Because that seemed to be the reason, or the big catalyst, I think, for the Blood Angels getting that like 3rd place finish, right? Like the terrain on those, on that US tournament, the Orlando Open or whatever it was called, the terrain was really dense, I guess. It definitely gave melee armies, like, I wouldn't say it favored melee armies, but it definitely gave melee armies a very, very good chance at doing well in the games. Because there was a lot of the middle of the map obscured, or a lot of the middle of the map was obscuring terrain, right? I would have started with World Eaters if GW cared about Chaos as much as normal Marines. Yeah, do you know what? It's a bit sad that Chaos have been left behind so much. The fact that they still just have like their 1 moon Marines is... Do you know what? It's so weird. Like, I was so happy when Blood Angels were going to be the first codex in 9th edition, so... But it turns out being the first codex means that like you don't get any of the overpowered rules all the other factions are getting. So it's kind of a weird one in that like you want your codex early-ish, but not too early, I guess. I looked at the sprue for the SC Vanguards, and you should be able to kit bash some incursors even with the easy to build models. Oh, start collecting. Yes, that's right. Start collecting. Okay, so Tennessee is about the same as Scotland, I guess. And they have the same in common. Population, hills, and whiskey. Man, I love some whiskey. I haven't had a whiskey for a few weeks, actually. No, do you know what? I think I had a whiskey with Andrew and Colin last week at that tournament. I was actually really disappointed with Andrew and Colin because they're like the tournament veterans. They're off to LGT this week. They do a lot of tournament play. like Andrew's been to more tournaments in like 1 year than I've been to in like 5, and the two of them only won 2 games. And the way that tournament was set up was like 1 or 2 people in your team could pick their games, right? Because it was a 3, like each team was 3, and you basically got to, 1 player in each team got to pick. So you like nominated a player, and they would get to pick against the other 2 in the opposite team that aren't nominated. So in every single game, we let Andrew or Colin pick the team that they would play. So basically, because I said to them, like, I don't have so much tournament experience, I don't want to have to pick and then have the pressure of like being like the game that really needs to be won. Because obviously, like, for example, if Colin's Death Guard and there's an army that Death Guard can crush, arguably, like, he would just pick that list, right, and then absolutely crush it. And because each round the scores go on like all 3 matches, so if we can get one where we just absolutely crush, it means like we only have to draw the other 2 games and we still get the win. So in one of the games, Colin actually did pick, he got to pick first, and he played against Gene Stealer cults. And like the game was over in like 30 minutes. Like the Death Guard just tabled the Gene Stealer cult in like turn 2 or 3, right? But like, so in every single game I let them pick, and like basically I was just gonna take the hardest game, or the game I was gonna take the, you know, maybe not always the hardest game, but I was just gonna take the game that was left over, right? So like I didn't know who my enemy was gonna be, I was just gonna be who was ever left. And I guess that's why I got Thousand Suns in that first game, because it was like someone was gonna have to fight Thousand Suns, so I was like, oh well, I'll fight them, and you know, because I've not picked, there'll be no pressure on me here. Like, I'll just do the best I can. Like, Blood Angels aren't really going to do well against Thousand Suns. And yeah, I won 4 games, and Andrew and Colin, who got to pick in 2 of their games each, only ended up getting 2 wins each. So I was like, oh man, I felt like I was carrying the team, even though they're quote unquote the veterans. I heard the rumors that Chaos Space Marines will be totally reforged. Probably, because I mean, if they were just going to add 1 extra wound to them, surely they could have just done that by now with like an FAQ, right? Like, I don't know why they wouldn't have it if that was all that was happening. Yeah, Speyside is actually where I live, Pedrog. I'm right in the heart of Speyside, so if you ever heard of a Speyside malt, or if you ever drink Scotch whiskey that says Speyside on it, that is just 5 minutes down the road from where I live. Yeah, I could literally drive to the River Spey in like 10 minutes. Because that's why it's called Speyside, because it runs the River Spey. It's a pretty beautiful river, actually. There's also a walk called the Speyside Way, which is like a 60 or 70 mile, like, it's just a path that follows the whole river, 60 or 70 miles. I've done it twice, and it's basically like it's a bit like a hike, but you would like camp overnight and stuff, you know, like four nights, 20 miles a day sort of job. It's a pretty cool walk, very very scenic, very tranquil, and the river's full of trout and stuff, so you can see them like swimming up the river, or maybe it's salmon, but the river's full of fish anyway. Next time I'm in Scotland, assuming the world doesn't end, I'll bring you Jack Daniel's single barrel, which is greater than any 10-year-old. Is that what the little greater than thing is? Well, if you bring me that, I will let you taste some real Scottish whiskey as well, Brent, because I recently got a really, really nice bottle of Glenfarclas. Usually I buy whiskey once a year at like Christmas time, and then try and not destroy the bottle too quickly and make it last until next Christmas. I was going to say, I'm getting pretty tired. It's actually 10 to midnight here. Okay, so I'm going to give it like 10 more minutes tonight, and then probably call it a night. I'm just feeling a little bit tired. Did I get as much done on these guys as I had hoped? Probably not. There's usually the story of my painting life. Maybe do a little bit of tidy up on some red bits here. I'd love to see some more Alpha Legion shenanigans. Yeah, it's they announced, like, did they announce? I was gonna actually say, I don't know, where are we in terms of like codexes? Like, how many more codexes have still to come this edition? And there's probably quite a lot, right? There must be like 10 still to come. And like, how quick are they releasing them? It's like one every 2 or 3 months. So like, have we got another year and a half before everybody gets their codex? Like, will everybody have their codex in 2022? I mean, I guess that's a good point, right? How far to Tom and Towel for you? I think Tom and Towel was maybe like 30 miles, but it's pretty windy roads, so maybe like 45 minutes to Tom and Towel. All the roads up here are single track, so like one, you know, like there's no, what do I mean by single track? One car goes, it's just 2 lanes, one car going one way, one car going the other way, right? They are talking about getting some of the roads up in this area made like 2 lanes each way, but like they've been talking about that for years. It feels, it's definitely quite rural, I guess. My first name is Cullen. You're probably not far from that town. I am not far from Cullen. That's about 30 miles east of where I am. I think Tom and Towel is about 30 miles south. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm right in the heart of Speyside. The River Spey actually runs through Fochabers, and I'm about 8 miles from Fochabers. So yeah, one thing we definitely have in this area is very good whiskey, and usually very reasonably priced whiskey as well, which is nice. It can be a bad thing, you know, when you go to the pub and you can get like a really nice whiskey for like $1.90 or something. So, but it can also be a good thing. Some nights, whiskey definitely replaces dinner. Guard, Elder, Tyrannage, Genestealer, Cults, Chaos, Fists. Haven't had their stuff. No, none of those. You're right. All those. The 3 more codex releases this year. Black Templars and 2 unannounced ones. Just saw you were streaming and wanted to say thank you and I love your content, mate. Hey, thanks for dropping by, Big Bad Blair. I appreciate it. I have one of the Jack Daniels Sinatra Century limited edition Tennessee whiskey, and it's currently going for $2,300. Wow. Okay. Hey, Pedrog. Thank you so much for the nightcap. I appreciate that, man. You super chatted me already this month, but no, thank you so much. Because I remember, or if it wasn't this month, it was right at the end of last month. I feel like it wasn't that long ago, but thank you so much. We're gonna have to get a game though, Pedroig. I think that's the next step. Can maybe even get a game on stream at some time. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it. Or next year after I get some, after this next baby that I've got on the way is born, we can I can get to a tournament where a lot of you guys are at further down south. But you know what? It felt so good. It felt so fun to play at a tournament again for the first time in forever. And I was trying so hard to go 5-0. Like, I really, really wanted it. I felt. Do you know what? I'll do it. I'll be doing a video this week on the tournament. But like, I really, if I'd had in game 5 against Eldar or Dark Eldar, I got a 1 on my plasma cannon in terms of number of shots, and I really needed like a 2 or a 3, and I possibly win that game. Like, it was very early in the game. I needed to get inside. Like, I needed to blow up a Drakari Raider that had like no wounds left hardly on it. So if my plasma cannon rolls a decent number of shots, I feel like I win that game. So I rolled a 1. And I was like, okay, I'm going to CP this, and I roll another 1. And like, on any other day, if I don't roll a 1 into a 1, I feel like I win that game and go 5-0. And it wasn't. Sometimes you might say like, oh well, it's just 1 roll, it probably wouldn't have swung the game. But like, my whole first turn in that game, I just rolled really, really poorly. I had like 3 Vanguard veterans that needed to make saves on 0 AP. So obviously they're saving on 2s, and I rolled 3 1s. So it was just a rough turn all round. And then it just got capped off by the fact that like I needed to make any sort of number of shots on that plasma, and I rolled a 1 and got a reroll into a 1. But I guess I never let the dice get me down, right? Like, sometimes the dice can be against you, but like I never let the dice get me down. If you have a tough turn or a tough game from dice, just put it aside, right? Like, it's just the dice. Sometimes they're with you, sometimes they're against you. And I think over the course of the tournament, there was definitely some other times they were probably with me. So like, maybe if we didn't have such a terrible roll there, we lost another game by a couple of points or something. But yeah, I was really pleased with how I played, and I feel like, in that day with a tiny little bit more luck, we go 5-0 for our first tournament return. So yeah, I'm going to break it all down hopefully and share some videos with you this week, and hopefully it helps you guys with future battles, and or that's the goal anyway. Do you know what? I always find, like, I obviously touch my models up a lot, and I probably could save time if I only touched them up at the very end. But like, I just, when I touch up these Primaris Marines, as much as some people hate Primaris Marines, I do actually really enjoy painting them. Just the extra size they have on the Firstborn just makes painting them really nice. I do not know what Rumble is. Is that a new platform or something? In the pursuit of perfection, excellence can be found. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got the solo tournament coming up in like 10 weeks. If I can keep playing the way I was playing in that tournament and just tweak this list ever so slightly, I feel like I can put in a very good showing at the solo tournament as well. Obviously, some people will have had more time to get going with like, what are they, like Grey Knights and Thousand Suns, and they are pretty horrific to fight in cases, but sometimes against those armies now, it's just going to come down to terrain. If you've got enough terrain on your battle, like if you get a table that has a good amount of terrain, then you'll do well. You can do well against those armies. If you have a table that has no terrain or very little obscuring terrain that you can use, you'll struggle against Thousand Suns. And I think that's just where they are right now in the meta. And there's I don't think there's much that's going to change that. Thousand Suns can just do an awful lot of damage, and every psychic phase can be devastating, I guess. I want to make an Iron Ravens army because their paint scheme is awesome and they look great on Phobos Primaris armor. Yeah, I've never heard of Rumble. I will have a look. I know YouTube take a lot on super chats and subscriptions as well, which is surprising because like YouTube are probably the biggest company. Well, they're Google, aren't they? So they're like, how much profit did Google make that last year? Probably plenty, right? But yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. I'm pretty tired, and I'm back tomorrow, though. In the afternoon, we're going to be going over army lists, and I believe we've got Reziel and Steel Range lists to look at tomorrow. So that should be cool, because I know Reziel, we've talked a lot, and I have you to thank a little bit for the Bolter and Scepters that really helped me do well at this tournament. So it'll be cool to see your newest or your most updated list. And then on Monday night, I think I'm playing Andrew's Broken, and it is a very broken orc list. I don't think there's any other way to describe it except it's broken. So I'll have that on Monday night. Yeah, I'm probably going to take my super heavy tank on Monday night, I think, because I think that's the best way to fight those orcs, because I think the Rucka trucks are just horrifically unbalanced. They're undercosted, I think, by about... If Raiders were undercosted 10 points per model, then I think these are undercosted at least 15 or 20 points per model. Like, the Rucka trucks are just far too good. So yeah, have a look at the list if you want to see it. It's in Discord. It's in the members room. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for supporting the stream and hanging out. Thank you to the guys that provide the super chats. They're always, you know, the super chats are just brilliant. And also thank you to everybody else that's got a green name. Could you message me before? I could tell you now when it is. I could tell you now, Texan. Give me 1 sec. You are gonna be next Sunday, so it'll be Sunday the 26th. If you're in Texas and if you want me to review your list last on stream because of the time difference, I can do that as well. My stream usually starts at like 4 my time, which I guess would be 11 a.m. Eastern. Is Texas in Central or is Texas in Eastern time zone? I actually don't know. No, it was cool to see you too, Toxic. Yeah, it's been too long. I've just been too busy. Unfortunately, I do want to stream more painting sessions and just hangouts. I 100% want to do that. Once I get moved next month, I'm moving a month today, I think. It should become a lot easier, I hope. Or it should become a lot easier for a little while, and then I have a second baby coming in January, so then that'll throw a spanner in the works. But so if Texas is in Central, then the stream will kick off at 10 a.m. Your time. So if you want me to do your list at the end of the stream, I can do that. Just let me know. But yeah, no, I do. I haven't streamed on a Thursday night in ages because I've been trying to do more videos. I would like to, and yeah, I kind of miss streaming to you guys. So I will try my best to keep streaming. It's just limited time every week. Yeah, I was streaming every Thursday for a while, but I was really struggling to put out good quality videos on Fridays when I was streaming every Thursday, right? Like, so I don't know. I want to stream more often. I do want to stream more often. You'll have to leave that with me. I'm trying my best, guys. But yeah, because I've had to be moving house, and because my wife is pregnant and she can't literally lift anything, because you're not allowed to lift anything when you're pregnant. I'm doing it all myself of an evening. It's pretty difficult. So anyway, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon, and then on Monday night you can come and watch me probably lose horrifically to a broken orc list. If anyone's got any suggestions on the orc list, please throw them in Discord, but honestly I think the list is super broken. I don't even know who wrote the new orc codex, but I just looked at it and thought, like, who's even writing this shit? But anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. By the blood are we made strong. Peace.